I'd like to acknowledge that we are meeting on land that was Aboriginal land, is Aboriginal land and will forever be Aboriginal land. I don't know the traditional owners of this country, so instead I'd like to just briefly quote a poem by Dougie Young, New South Wales Aborigine, who said, "The white man took this country from me. He's been fighting for it ever since." Now, basic income is something that has had trials in Namibia, India. There are smaller trials in Brazil based on the cities. There's some programs going in Mexico. And of course, there were programs in Canada in the 70s, and there are going to be programs either this year or next year in Canada. There are programs starting in Finland, pilot programs. So it's an idea that's going around in many circles. If we look at this country first, our system is a means-tested, categorical system which is supposed to assist the most needy. It doesn't. If you're a young unemployed person, you'll have great difficulty getting a payment which is somewhere in the order of 40% of the poverty line. But if you're an old bugger like me with savings, a house, some superannuation, you can get a park pension, and nearly as much as that young unemployed person gets. It's a do-it-yourself welfare state. In the most recent ABC Boyer lectures, the first lecture was devoted to returning to Kate Pickett and Richard Wilkinson's 2009 book, The Spirit Level, that argued that more equal societies are healthier, predominantly because power is shared and people have greater freedoms. Now, there are some people who argue for a basic income on the grounds that it's ecologically sound. Other people say that if you had a basic income, it would generate more use of resources. It might do both, because the entrepreneurial spirit that's freed could actually find ways to work towards a non-carbon future. And that's the real ceiling on production in the world we live in today. Now, I'm sometimes asked, will basic income increase inflation? No. The main thing that will happen with the basic income is that money will be provided down to people who spend their money locally and don't buy imported goods, certainly not expensive imported goods. The only time they buy imported goods is when they're dumped on us. One of the other arguments that comes up quite frequently is, can we afford a basic income? Well, there's enough money in this country to pay an above poverty line basic income to everybody. There'd be changes in the tax system. The rich would be paying more than they're paying now, the growth of inequality would decrease. One of the other things is the question, is life outside paid employment meaningful? And two feminist economists, Catherine Gibson and Julie Graham, argue that the economy is like an iceberg. What market economists recognise is wage labour produced for a market in a capitalist society. They don't recognise the volunteer work in schools, in hospitals, the things that are done for people on the streets, within families, between friends, by the retired, by producer cooperatives, and non-capitalist firms. Now, when Scott Morrison sort of turns his tiny little mind to think about social welfare spending, he doesn't envisage a supportive floor sustaining people at a time of adversity. His mind's eye conjures up nothing as peaceful as an iceberg floating on an ocean. What he sees is an image of a mothballed iron ore mine, a hole in the ground surrounded by the tailings of lost opportunity, the forlorn hope and malingering. Oh, we've been on that malingering trip for a while. I can't remember the exact date, but I think it was 1352 the Statute of Labourers first recognised the problem of malingering, and we've been running the same line ever since. What Morrison doesn't see is the desire to achieve and the ever-present frustrations of the obstacles that are placed in the way of people. Now, some pessimists suggest that basic income creates a moral jeopardy, that it encourages people to leave the workforce. Some would stay home and look after their kids for a bit longer, look after their mum who's cook, look after their ageing father, look after their partner who's not well. So that encourages in some people's mind what I call a workhouse mindset. It wants to make people work for the dole. It wants them to get ready for work. There are many other obligations which are placed on people, but it's such a self-destroying thing. It destroys those who are forced to do that to the unemployed. It destroys the unemployed. One other question I'm often asked is, why pay millionaires? They don't need it, and if you put all the money that's available to assist the poor and gave it to the poor, they'd be better off than if you wasted some on millionaires. Oh yeah? Well, in 1987, Robert Gooden and Julian Lagrange wrote a book called Not Only the Poor, and they argued that if you give money to everybody, there's a greater support for it in the community. There is no downward envy. There is none of the sort of blaming that goes on in our society. One of the things that would happen if we did have a basic income is that we would reinvigorate the society and create a caring community which will give us the possibility to allow the real development of mutuality of spirit, cooperation and sharing. And I'm not talking about the sharing economy, the shared economy. Guy Standing puts the nail into that little piece of innovation when he looks at Airbus and the TaskRabbit and Uber and all this sort of stuff. They're just labour hire firms that increase the precarious employment. We'll probably be circulating on the site an online opinion article I did called "The Corruption of Capitalism Explains Why the Future is Workless." And I sent Guy Standing a copy of it because it's a review of Tim Dunlop and Guy Standing's book. And Guy said, "I've never argued the future is workless. It's just it won't be well-paid work that's offered to people, and that's why we need a basic income." Cooperatives will function a lot easier in a society where everyone's basic needs are catered for by the state. And it may well be that we'll invent new forms of mutuality, and we might even regain the use of the commons. Thank you.